Hi, and welcome again to another edition of Market Analysis for today, November 10th, 2023. I'm Giovanni Benacourt, analyst, trader, and educator with Vantage Markets. Alrighty, so looking at today's fluctuation in the NASDAQ, we see that yesterday's fluctuation came up to our resistance that we were talking about being met on October 12th. It did so and it retraced from there. Okay, today we have opened with a very small gap down, but it has been closed, obviously. Now, should this continuation of this fluctuation continue to the upside, we can come in and speculate that 15,400, sorry, could be that place since it is a double top. So let's see if that will be met. Otherwise, at the opening of the bell, we could probably also be taking some people, maybe taking profit taking some money off the table. It is the weekend, so we could probably see a lower fluctuation, then a retracement back down all of what it has moved. And we could probably come and say, okay, so 15,200 will be that amount, which is obviously also another psychological number. But also we could come down and revisit, these lows. So for now, I speculate that since we are above the 50 line in the R side, that the impulse or the momentum to the upside can continue. So but be wary. In regards to the S&P, the same token goes for the S&P. So 4,400 could be that in terms of psychological resistance for it. So be careful about that. Also in the Dow, all right, the Dow right now we are making a double bottom. All right, so let's see if this fluctuation in the Dow can bring us back up to yesterday's high. Now, in regards to crude oil, all right, so crude oil yesterday, we did have that fluctuation to the upside, as I mentioned, around 78 will be a resistance. It retraced from there. It closed very narrowly to the upside, creating an inverse doji. This indeed can identify or signal a change in trend. So if that's the case, then again, 78 will be that psychological resistance, internal resistance point. So let's see if that will be at least met. If it is met, then we have to be worried to see if it will start retracing. It is the weekend. All right, lower volume is going to be also part of today's deal. Okay, so keep that in mind. Now, should we retrace back down when you have obviously yesterday's low, which is the double bottom to be met, and if it continues, then we have $74. But for right now, we're going with the momentum, which is up towards 78. Then Nat Gas, we have been set in a sell-off of Nat Gas. Nat Gas have broken this double bottom that was created back in October 20 and 23rd. So it has violated in reality. Let me see, it has broken it because this candle closed below that. So it has broken it. Today it has traded down somewhat on it. We are retracing into it. Perhaps since it is a weekend, it's already Friday, we could probably just find a very narrow range of trading, sideways movement, okay, choppiness. So keep that in mind. But yeah, we will be selling. Then we have gold. Gold 1940 is that support level for it. Let's see if it's met. The RSI is below that 50 line signal. So that implies that a momentum to the downside is being built up. But obviously, if the dollar index continues to appreciate or recover, then that will happen. If not, then if the dollar index falls, we will probably see a retracement back into yesterday's range, or at least into yesterday's opening. Then we have silver. Silver is right now is in a very narrow range. It's creating a consolidation stage, if you will. I call it lateral movement. Okay, so let's see. This is a setup also for a breakout. You could break to the downside or towards the $22, or just come back up and re-meet or revisit yesterday's high. Then we have here copper. Copper is also trending lower, has been in a sell-off mode all this week. So let's go with the momentum. At least we could come down and say, okay, perhaps not 355, but at least we'll know if we're gonna revisit that low of October 27th. Then we have Bitcoin. Bitcoin, I spoke about yesterday, that the resistance could be around 38,000. It did so. It retraced from it. It closed below around 36.5. Today we are trending higher. Let's see if today will be just one of those days, because again, because the weekend, that low volume, less participants, will create just also a narrow range and sideways movement, or would it just pop up above 38,000? So you gotta keep that in mind. If not, I mean, I put 35,000 as my support, but 36,000 could be also met. Then we have the currencies. The euro right now is recovering, looking to come back up above 107. That is a psychological resistance level for it. The RSI is above 50, so we could go with the momentum of the upside. And the pound is basically right now recovering itself and just hovering right around 122. And we can see a movement to the upside if the dollar index continues to drop, and if it drops below 105.5 towards the 105 level, we'll see a nice pop on the currencies and metals. Okay, if it continues, if it retraces and it recovers and goes back to 106, then we'll see a continuation to the downside on the metals and the currencies. That's it for me today. I will see you on Monday. Have a nice weekend.